Hello, random comic book reviews. Okay, today I have Optic Nerve number 7 from 2005. The story is called Summer Blonde. Optic Nerve is this indie anthology comic written and drawn by Adrian Tomine. Generally, the stories he does are slice of life tales illustrating human relationships and how people sometimes attempt and sometimes fail to connect. It's interesting, how many times, like in the comics community, when fans bring up realism, most of the time it's in the context of how much blood or sex or whatever should be shown in superhero comics. Here, Tomine actually does a realistic comic in the sense that he's portraying flawed, everyday folks living ordinary lives. Summer Blonde is the story of an introverted young man named Neil. We see him buying a birthday card at a greeting store, and he's awkwardly making small talk with the blonde cashier there. We follow him home, and we see Neil place a card in a drawer full of cards, and it becomes obvious that he's just going to the store to see the cashier, who's this woman named Vanessa. He kind of has this sort of I don't know if it's necessarily a dead end job, but he just kind of sits at a desk behind a computer. He's obviously bored there. We see him, looking for girls on the internet and stuff like that. He also has this psychiatrist, and he talks about his troubles talking to women that he is attracted to. So, Neil has, he's got a few issues. Meanwhile, there's this young man named Carlo who moves in next door to Neil, and Carlo, I should say, is almost everything that Neil is not. He's handsome, he's extroverted, he's a musician or kind of a wannabe musician, and most importantly, he's very successful with women. Uh, you know, Carlos has Carlos goes on lots of dates, or actually, I should say, Carlos takes lots of women home with him and stuff like that. And Neil, although he doesn't actually talk to Carlo or anything like that, he sees this going on through his window, and this just frustrates Neil even more. Now, through a series of coincidences, Carlo begins to date Vanessa, and this even further frustrates Neil. Now, adding to the situation is the fact that Vanessa may have another boyfriend that she may or may not be on the outs with. And at the end of the story, the main characters, they don't, without giving too much away, they don't necessarily get, all the things they want, but maybe they do get what they deserve. What's great about Summer Blonde is that this is a story that could have very easily slid into like soap opera or melodrama, but Tomine keeps the drama at a very believable level. The manner in which the events unfold is very plausible, and it seems like something that could happen in real life. I also think the art is perfect for this story. It's in black and white with subtle shading, and the lack of color actually adds to the story. It pulls you into the story as opposed to make you feel like, maybe there's something lacking there. Adrian Tremaine draws with lots of clean lines and enough detail to give you a sense of place for each scene. He's also really good at drawing average looking people and making them all distinct. This is kind of the type of comic that, say, a flashier superhero artist, I should say, like maybe Jim Lee couldn't do. I mean, he could do it, of course, but if Jim Lee did it, then of course all the characters would look, very handsome and very pretty, and they look like models, and you'd have this kind of, bombastic storytelling that just wouldn't fit. And actually would be kind of confused too. All in all, I think Optic Nerve, Summer Blonde was a great story. It's a really good story about loneliness and depression. And like I said, it ends on this note that's not 100% satisfying for the protagonist, but it's a very realistic one. It is very much about making choices and then having to deal with the consequences of those actions. And that's it. I got to thank you very much for listening, and everybody have a great day.